What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
The Fevers were eliminated from the playoffs last week, and the WNBA's ticket sales, attendance, and viewership have alarmingly decreased due to Caitlin Clark's absence.
Look at this little chart right here. The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year. And the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their game.
In an attempt to draw viewers, the WNBA is currently advertising AA Wilson everywhere, but sadly, this isn't working.
Caitlin's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in full swing.
While some supporters see that Caitlin's absence is an issue, others see it as an opportunity for her to sharpen her media skills because they feel her responses to scandal have been inadequate.
I want to be in this situation next year where I'm saying, do you remember when you people were giving her grace, saying that she's 22, media training is not there? 1 year afterwards, she's still in the same position.
Returning to Caitlin supporters, they have simply stopped watching the WNBA due to the hate she was receiving, not to mention the bias against her in the big games. Now that she's out, they can't handle it and have finally realized what the Caitlin Clark effect really is. Applause. As Caitlin puts her feet up and finally relaxes, the WNBA will have to fight their way through the playoffs, trying their best to scrape even half of the viewers. Caitlin would have been pushed, poked, and slammed to the ground by multiple players without a third game against the Sun despite her outstanding performance.
Number of viewers for WNBA games that Caitlin Clark is not in is like 3 to 4 million. When she's in the game, when it's her game playing, it's like 17 million.
Yeah. Well, I also look at the attendance in the arena.
Yes.
It's 8 to 10,000 everywhere else. Caitlin Clark, 17, 18,000.
The WNBA has experienced ups and downs over the years, but it's no secret that since Caitlin Clark joined the league, things have drastically changed. Clark, a generational talent, has brought a level of excitement and attention that the WNBA had been longing for. Her impact was immediate, not only in terms of her dominance on the court, but also in the way she attracted fans, media attention, and casual viewers.
Caitlin Clark, she is the first Division I player, and that is male or female, to record 3,000 points, 900 assists, and 800 rebounds.
Clark is more than just a standout athlete. She is a phenomenon who has revitalized the league. However, as her season has come to an end following the Connecticut Sun defeat, the league is finding it difficult to sustain the momentum she created without her. It appears as though the WNBA has reached a dead end and is unable to replicate the energy that came with Clark's presence.
All the women that have been calling for the equality, and now that there is the chance for them to start getting paid more because the exposure's up. Because it's her, you have people like, what's her name, Jamelia Hill or what? I can't stand her.
Yeah.
You got these women who are coming on here and they're saying it's because she's...
In fact, the WNBA has completely collapsed in many ways, and it is now evident that Caitlin Clark's absence has caused a dramatic downturn for the league. When Clark was playing, the WNBA felt alive. The buzz, hype, and excitement were all there, and people who didn't usually watch women's basketball suddenly became glued to their screens, eagerly waiting to see what Clark would do next. Let's face it, without Clark, the WNBA is missing its spark, and the numbers support this playoff season, especially after Clark's breakout regular season. The league and its supporters were hopeful that the interest Clark generated during the season would carry over into the playoffs, resulting in a surge in audience engagement and viewership. However, since her departure, stadiums aren't as packed as anticipated, and TV ratings have plummeted. To put things in perspective, when Caitlin Clark plays, she consistently draws over 1 million viewers. Yes, 1 million people tune in just to watch her this kind of since the WNBA had previously struggled to draw such large crowds. Viewership is almost unparalleled for the league in recent years. People scheduled their calendars around her games so they could watch her live, either in person or from home.
There is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball, and especially on women's basketball ratings. Kudos to her. She has elevated an entire sport in viewership.
The WNBA can barely reach 300,000 viewers per game without Caitlin Clark, which speaks volumes about her influence and importance. When Clark is on the court, people want to watch her style of play. Her personality and her ability to deliver in clutch moments make her an athlete that transcends the sport, but when she's not involved, it's as if no one cares. Kudos to her for elevating an entire sport in viewership.
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the...
It's not just about Clark being a fantastic player. It's also about her being a unique athlete that people can't get enough of. When that phenomenon isn't on display, the interest fades quickly, leaving the WNBA struggling to capture the attention it had during her breakout season. Sure, she can score from anywhere, drop dimes with precision, and single-handedly take over games. But her impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. Caitlin Clark transcends the sport in a way that very, very few athletes can. She brings a level of energy, excitement, and unpredictability to every game. She's a part of you don't know what she's going to do next, but you know whatever it is, it's going to be something special. That's why her games draw packed stadiums and why millions tune in from home. People watch Caitlin Clark because she's a spectacle, not just a player.
Caitlin Clark, number 1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3, Kate Martin 4. We talked about this earlier in the season. I feel sad that Kate Martin also hasn't gotten as much playing time the second half of the season. I feel like she deserves more, or maybe she deserves a different team. How crazy would that be if she went to Indiana? Just saying.
She is incredibly charismatic. She is more than just a basketball player. Every time she takes the court, her fearless attitude, deep three-pointers, and no-look passes put on a show. Fans are captivated by Clark's uncommon ability to make every game feel like an event, something you don't want to miss. They love her energy, passion, and unwavering drive to win, but the issue arises when she's not on the floor. Without Clark, the WNBA loses its allure. It becomes less of a spectacle and more of a regular basketball game, which sadly doesn't attract the same attention. Even the most ardent WNBA fans find it more difficult to remain involved without her because of the irreplaceable spark she brings, and when she's not playing, the excitement fizzles, leaving a noticeable void that no other player or team seems to be able to fill.
Cheryl Swoops, all y'all other haters out there, and I'm gonna call you out, man, because it's blatantly obvious why you're hating on the young lady. If she was black, man, everybody be going crazy about Caitlin Clark right now, but she not. And what I appreciate about it is just that. She ain't stereotypical.
Fans find this situation even more frustrating because of the way the WNBA treats Caitlin Clark when she plays. You would think that a player of her caliber, someone who draws large audiences and puts the league in the spotlight, would be protected and respected on the court, but that hasn't been the case repeatedly. We've seen referees treat Caitlin unfairly, refusing to give her the same calls that other players in the league would easily receive, whether she's being hacked on drives, fouled on the perimeter, or both. Given how crucial Clark is to the league's success, field officials have continuously allowed her to be treated like the problem on the floor. This lack of respect from the referees is perplexing. It's almost as if the WNBA doesn't recognize that she is their greatest asset. Rather than supporting and safeguarding their rising star, they let her be mistreated. League doesn't care about the detrimental effects this treatment has on her, or worse, doesn't want her to succeed. Fans are aware of this and are fed up with it. They can see when a player is being unfairly singled out, and the ongoing prejudice against Caitlin has left many of them are disillusioned with the league because, rather than encouraging the enthusiasm and devotion that Clark brings to the WNBA, this mistreatment is driving fans away and making them wonder about the league's priorities. Clark's supporters are extremely devoted, but they're also tired of the hate, bias, and treatment that Caitlin receives on the court, whether it comes from rival players who single her out, referees who seem to be harsher on her than anyone else, or even the league itself. Feels like the WNBA has an agenda against her rather than honoring their biggest star. As a result, many fans have reached their breaking point and have stopped watching. Why support a league that goes out of its way to destroy its most marketable and talented player?
It looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled.
Following Caitlin's elimination from the playoffs, fans chose to boycott WNBA games for more reasons than just her lack of participation. They've witnessed her mistreatment throughout the season, including prejudice from officials and a lack of league protection, and now they're declaring that they won't deal with a company that doesn't support or safeguard its best player. Many fans feel cut off from the WNBA without Caitlin, as seen by the noticeably lower viewership figures. Even in her absence, Clark supporters remain devoted to her rather than the league as a whole. Involvement. They have no reason to keep watching, and it demonstrates how the WNBA's failure to treat Caitlin fairly has resulted in a backlash that is now affecting its bottom line. The harsh truth is that the WNBA will suffer greatly without Caitlin Clark. Prior to her arrival, the league regularly struggled to maintain mainstream attention. Sure, there were notable stars and a devoted core of fans, but the general public's interest wasn't there. It was eclipsed by other sports and found it difficult to enter the larger discourse. All of that was altered by Caitlin Clark, but now that she is gone, the WNBA is collapsing. It's evident that Cait Clark has single-handedly revitalized the WNBA, and without her, the league is once again facing an uphill battle. The public's interest, which had previously surged during Clark's games, has now faded, and the league is struggling with a lack of excitement.
1 year. I think more
than 1 year.
I'm just giving it from
All
me,
she's
for
doing
example.
she's only in the gym, back and forth in the gym. You're telling me that no one can tell her
No,
anything.
you
No,
can't
she's
say
hooper,
that,
she's
Ola.
hooper.
You know
I
she's
think-
doing a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
okay, fair enough.
Because I was in college for 4 years, and it took me a while to get media trained.
Clark's presence alone has the ability to shift the narrative and turn the WNBA into a conversation piece. However, if the league doesn't support her and referees continue to treat her disrespectfully, the WNBA runs the risk of losing everything she has built for them. The league's failure to adequately protect and promote its biggest star could send it back into irrelevance, undoing all the progress. The WNBA needs to understand that Caitlin Clark is more than simply a fantastic basketball player. She is the face of their future, the one who fills arenas and drives viewership. Without her, the league is likely to relapse into the same difficulties it encountered prior to her arrival. Despite all of this, Caitlin Clark's season was nothing short of historic. She broke records in almost every category imaginable, scoring assists, shooting percentages, and more, whether she was pulling up from deep three-point range or threading the needle with flawless passes. If the WNBA doesn't take the necessary steps to support her, they risk losing everything she's built. In the WNBA, Clark revolutionized what it meant to be a dominant player. Her performances weren't just impressive, they were revolutionary. It's perplexing to see such a generational talent treated with contempt or disregarded by the WNBA's powers that be. Rather than supporting Clark and using her as a symbol of the league's progress, she's frequently portrayed as a problem on the court with unfair officiating or in media narratives that fail to celebrate her contributions. This treatment needs to stop, and the WNBA must soon realize that Caitlin Clark is their golden ticket to mainstream. Without her, the league runs the risk of returning to obscurity. The WNBA must support and safeguard its finest talent if it hopes to endure and prosper. Caitlin Clark, please leave a like if you liked it. Add more videos to the screen by subscribing.